Welcome back to my season 2, I'm calling it, of Transport Fever 2. our last our last experience was a learning experience. It's not a failure. It's not a failure unless you don't learn from it in life. I've made many mistakes and quote failed many times, but as long as you learn and become a little bit better at something, you're in good shape. So what I would like to do is start a free game. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I came in here. I was going to start with our original map, but I really didn't see a good place to start. I've given this a lot of thought. So this is the same exact starting conditions, but we're going to go with the seed second if you wanted to follow along. And we're going to have the same exact settings, very large, medium, medium. And I'm not sure how much it changes, but we're going to stay away from dry and tropical. I had to look at some of those maps. But this really is like the first temperate map that I looked at after the last one. It just happens that it will be a good one. So, and I'll show you why as we get into it, because I think we can get a good start and like get to the next step, and I think that's kind of important at some point. So you could say it's a little less than random, but quite honestly, this is the first temperate map I looked at. I actually went back and tried it with the other, the tropical and the desert conditions, and I didn't find it to be as good. So let me pause the recording, and I will come back when I'm ready to go, and this is done loading. Okay, welcome to our new map. And as I said, I had to look around before, not so much just a minute ago, but when I was looking around, and there was a suggestion that we start with oil, and I was trying to avoid that just to be a little bit different. And when I say start with oil, I've got time paused on January 2nd there, so we got plenty of time to think about what we're going to do. What you really want to do is get a train that can go back and forth. And you could do that potentially with food, but you have a little bit of an issue in that the trains don't carry the same stuff. So I can't show you right now until we build a depot, which we will in a minute, but you need a different type of train car in order to get grain to a place than you do to get food back. The only thing that's reasonable in the start, and there may be something else if there's more possibilities in the future and I don't even know. I haven't played the game that much. But oil is the one thing that you could drive back and forth, and like the crude takes the same car as the oil, takes the same car as the fuel, right? So in this case, we have the raw resource close by, right? We have oil right here that we could use. We could just get like horses or whatever to bring oil over to here, and then we could get a train to take this oil someplace, and then if we brought back the fuel to this same train stop, we could have more horses take it over into Norfolk, right? And that would be a relatively cheap way. Now, we should make a little bit of money. Now, in this kind of case, we might want to make a more direct road, might make some sense. I don't know if it's probably worth the money to do that right away. We'll see. It should be a pretty straight shot into Norfolk there. So the reason I wanted to start this map in particular, and it became like a gold star starting point. If you want to just do this and make money in hard mode to get going, this will be nice, because if we head up in this direction, right, there's another city up here, Rochester, that needs fuel, but not too far away, Rochester also has a fuel processing. I think what we could do, and this is certainly taking advantage of game mechanics, which I'm not an overly big fan of. Actually, we might even be able to go from over here because we got oil right there. Do we have oil? Yeah, well, we have oil right here. So I'm thinking what we can do is build a double track from Norfolk, right? We'll build a train station here that will take oil up to there, bring oil back to here. Bring fuel back to here. After it gets processed, then we deliver it, just like I described. But we could do the opposite thing over here in Rochester. Let's turn around, like the opposite direction. So, yeah, would we want to come up to... Yeah, well, the advantage to... Well, this is a little bit further, that oil. I'd rather not truck the oil too far. but then we could do a train to bring oil in. See, like this oil's like really close. So let's start out here. I think would be better. So in other words, the one train station will be here bringing fuel back and forth. It's like it's against every grain in my body as an engineer and a programmer, the illogic of trucking this stuff back and forth. But this game doesn't seem to have like a regional price. So like we should be able to do this back and forth. And if that fails, we'll have learned something else. But let's get started. And I think we'd get started by building a train station somewhere over here. And I guess we'd want to keep it where the train would go out this way, right? Now, I don't know. Let's see. So we're going to build... Yeah, there's no reason I don't think... Well, if we build a through station, eventually we could have a train taking fuel to Rochester. No, you know what? I think we're just going to build a terminus station for cargo. Let's flip this guy around and then I'll zoom in. All right, and we could just have them... I think we could expand that even if we have to destroy the road a little bit. I don't know that we'll ever need to expand that, but good. So that guy's attached, right? I kind of wiggled my mouse by accident. So what I'm thinking of is let me just turn on the train tool level thing. Yeah, look, that's nice. That's even nice and flat for your first little. Like we could just come like right down this valley. We got a little bit of a hill here. Yeah, but that's not the worst hill I've ever seen, right? And then we would have, well, let's just get one set up at a time, right? Yeah, now it's hard to see. So let's get rid of that mode for a second, and we'll come in here. Yeah, and I'm guessing it's not really a perfect place to put this thing, is there? I mean, it's fine. It's as long as it's... Yeah, so we're coming down this valley here, right? Am I in the wrong valley? No, I'm in the wrong valley. So we want to come, we're going to be coming from over there. Yeah, so we sort of wanted this thing to face like this way somehow. Right, it could be kind of nice. Now we could do a shorter station, right? But that's what I meant by this. We could just sort of come over here a bit, right? And I think that would be okay. Is there any reason we wouldn't do that? We're doing it. Other than there's no road, but we can fix that easily enough. Yeah, there we go. All right, and so that should be attached nicely to there. Yeah, it's kind of on a hill. All right, so then, well, we might as well think about the second loop. Yeah, there's kind of a hill right here. Well, no kind of about. That's the only negative. All right, so we'll probably want to wrap around here a little bit rather than fight the hill too much. Like that's, look at all that. Yeah, that's definitely like, yeah, so we'll wrap a train around this way. So I'm thinking maybe the best thing to do is come off of right here. Will you attach to? Yeah, you will. Good. I was wondering if that special road, it's not really a special road, but it's, yeah, that's going to run up our cost of the station a bit, but I think I'm okay with that because it'll kind of keep us up later. So let's get out of that mode, make sure that's attached. So now this station and fuel oil is going to be brought down from this one. All right, so we're going to have a train track that comes out this way. Let's put it in. Yeah, this is all just dead flat too. Nice. So we'll assume that at some point we have the train coming down this way from Rochester. So maybe we'll come over to here with this one, and that'll get us closer to that one anyhow. So I just want to put enough track in that we, yeah, that's nice and dead flat. want to kind of go right down that valley there. Hopefully the way I'm pointing. We'll double check that. And I'll probably lay the rest of this track like off camera because it gets kind of tedious. And let me know what you guys think of that statement if you want to see it in more action, or you know. And then is this one going to be a terminus station, or should I make it so fuel will be coming back? We could just bypass right through here and drop the fuel off and then come back to here rather than having like trucks coming back and forth. Does that I hope make sense? All right, so where do we need? Yeah, and there's nothing. Yeah, so we would want it like over on this side. Oops, that's how you tilt up. I don't even think I knew that's how you tilt it up. I hit R. I must be playing another game in my head right now. All right, so that will get us fuel to the right side of town, so we don't have to have any other trucks or anything in there. And then this track will come out this way. All right, so what we'll do is we'll have that fuel train come in here, and then he'll come back to here. So this, yeah, and that's fine if this one is sort of separate at that point. I was just thinking, do we want to tie this together a little bit sooner? First of all, I already built that track before I thought this through. Yeah, so I think what we want to do now is do a cargo station. Yeah, probably like right like this, right? And then we'll get a street. And then I'll attach that up, and then we'll run this track all the way down here. And it's one way or the other. Again, like I said, it's just going to be a little tedious to do that. And then I'll get these two stations attached, right? There'll be like a double track back and forth. Somewhere here, we'll have to decide whether we want to double track or not. I won't tend to double track because of the darn cost of the maintenance. So, yeah, and then what we'll need is, here we need to get fuel oil over to there. We're going to have to do the same thing the other way. And since, let's go to buildings. Probably could put this, let me zoom in so you guys can see. All right, probably put it something like that. And then we'll have, yeah, you know what, I think I will tuck it up over here, even though I'm not sure if that's the best place for it. Kind of keeping it out of the way in case we ever want to have a track go past here. Like, I don't think we'd ever do, I think trucks are fine. And then, now that we did that, yeah, you know what, let's just go splurge and let's increase our efficiency. Now, I'm not sure if it's worth this, but, all right, is that pointing? Yeah. Right, I'm not sure if it's really worth cutting that corner, but that should make it a lot faster route, right? We just took off a lot of zigging and zagging and got that guy there. So that should make him perennially more effective. So now we have oil coming into here. That oil is going to get loaded onto this train track, sent all the way up to here. I know I keep kind of saying the same thing. So now what we need to do is get oil to this one. And I'm thinking right here would be a fine spot to do that. So let's get, oops, not trains or buildings, I mean, trucks. I'm sorry. What do we want? We want this one. And we want buildings. Yeah, I'm thinking we just put this guy right in front. I don't think we'll ever really have to expand these. And then it probably should just be right on this side. All right, so back and forth we go with our oil. So, or I'm sorry, I called it oil. Crude will come into here. We'll convert it to oil. It'll get put on this train. This train will take it all the way down to this end. So let me build these tracks, and if you guys want to see me build tracks, I'm more than happy to show you. It's in some ways would be easier for me to fill up a video with it, but I think it's just kind of mind-numbingly boring. It's just a bit too much. So let me see how we're going to get this through. I mean, most of it's going to be pretty flat and easy. A couple hills here or there, but nothing that's going to be too much. So I will be back in a minute when we're ready to put some trains and trucks on the line. And I may rename a few things while I'm gone too. But I'll tell you all about it when I get back. And I have put down the tracks. So we have a double track from one end all the way up to here. So that's going to be a lot of track maintenance costs we have to make up for. But we'll see what happens. Now, I kind of messed up a little bit. Not that you saw it, but what I decided to do was run this a little bit extra long with double track because I think we're really going to want to have more than one train. And if these are one way, this is going to be a little different. I don't know if I need it here, but if there's a train in here, I can't have another one coming in. So this might be kind of a special problem in the sense that the trains are going to come back out this way. So I'm not sure. I don't want to let them in to here, but I don't think I actually need this extra bit here, right? Because they're going to be returning after picking up more oil, right? So does that make sense? Like, in other words, this doesn't need to be a two-way track, but I kind of build it, so there's no point in I don't think we should erase it. All right, so let me come in here and we'll do some signaling, and then I forgot to tracks. All right, so the idea would be that if we had two trains, right, they could come in. And I don't know that I actually need this second signal there, but it makes me feel better. I think it might help in the future, maybe. But all right, but this one I think we definitely need here, and then we'll just, for the sake of it, do this. But I guess I don't think we need this other one on this side either, because I shouldn't ever, really at the first, we're not going to have any trains coming back and forth that way. So now, like, let's think about it. A train comes down here, we could have a signal here, maybe. So this will just be like a one-way track so they don't ever get tempted to come in. And then we would have a signal this way. All right, so we probably should signal this out because if nothing else, it's down the line a little bit. And I don't, like I said, I don't think we necessarily need as many signals as I'm used to from, but I don't feel bad about putting, so we want to stop this guy here so he doesn't get stopped up there. Right, and if either one of these trains is on here, I think we just want to space out some signals. Is this the best way to do it? Not necessarily. Like, I'm just going to put the paired signals in. It's just so that we have some signaling so that these trains can keep moving as we get a few more on them. You'd probably want to try to space these out a little more intelligently than I am. But I just want to make sure that they keep moving and don't have too big a delay. Rather expensive, and I think they all cost us money, so I don't know. It's probably not worth it, but I also want to just sort of spend my money as best I can. Let's spin around. We should be getting, we're not, we're getting closer. All right, and this will just let them not get held up. I mean, we have enough signaling for like 50 trains at that point, but this should keep them flowing. Yeah, so I'm just going to signal the heck out of this. And again, this is not necessarily, I don't think we need all of this, but all right, and then we'll put signals like here, and then this one I'm going to cheat back this Well, it's fine for now. There. And then, all right, so if we have a train that's down this track, this will be like a staging area. I know it's going to be far from ideal, but at least it won't, like a train that wants to go in there won't, if these guys ever got back to back, like going into here, it's not going to stop these guys. Like at least we'll have one staging, and we may have to like improve the heck out of this area, but I don't want to get too fancy because fancy is going to cost us more money. So now I have another concern. Well, here's a problem. We didn't actually place, we need to get fuel over to here, and I think we should maybe just do it with a fuel station or with a, I'd like to kind of keep it close, like cut down on the distance traveled. I think will make a fair amount of sense, right? So hopefully that's a good place. It looks like it'll get all of our fuel needs for the beginning, and maybe even if we got goods one day, we might be able to do it from the same depot. And then I'm thinking it might be worth building a road, now that I look at it, right like that. $24,000 road. But again, I think that's going to cut off a lot of traffic in the city, which I think makes them unhappy if you have traffic in the city anyway. City may expand out this way. We'll have a nice, relatively straight shot over to here. A little bit of a loop in the back there, but hopefully that extra efficiency pays for itself over all the years and decades. Okay, so how are we doing? Do we have everything we need? Well, we don't have the lines. So let's set up the lines together. So we're going to do 2 lines right off the bat. And I think I'd like to make them similar but different colors. Let's do red. Oh, they're both red. I guess I could have left that other one red, right? Let's do orange and red because they're kind of 2 fuel-y kind of colors in my mind anyway. Usually in America we put gasoline in red cans often. So in any event. All right, so let's give them a name that we'll know. So let's see. Let's call this one oil-fuel Norfolk. I didn't rename anything. Or Morfolk. Okay, not Morfolk. Norfolk. Norfolk is in Virginia, for those of you who don't know. And then this town up here is called what? Rochester. So this one we'll do, and we'll call this one all right, so we know it's like where the fuel is going is the name of it. So let's, well, we were all, are we up there? We might as well. So what we want, let's do Norfolk one first, because why not? We are going to come to Norfolk, which, you know what, I am going to rename that. Norfolk Oil. All right, let's... because we're going to get oil from there. And then this, yeah, that's fine. It's not a train station, so I'm not too worried about it at this moment. So Norfolk Oil, and then from there we're going to go to the oil processor up here, which is that one. Right, and we're going to call this Rochester Fuel. All right, so we're going to go from Norfolk Oil to Rochester Fuel. We are going to, at Norfolk Oil, we are going to pick up oil. Right, I'm on the other end, and we are going to drop off fuel. And then when we come to here, we are going to load fuel and drop off oil. And then at this point, I want them to wait, but only a minute, right? I don't want them to wait too long, but I want them to wait long enough that they can process that oil that's in there. And then, good. So now let's do the opposite, which is we're going to come from here, here. Yeah, I do want to rename these, but I don't. It's a little time consuming to rename them all. But if they're really confusing, I'll rename them. All right. So, and then you're going to come down to this one, right? Yes. So when you're in Rochester Oil, I want you to pick up oil. Yep, load oil and drop off fuel. And then when you're down here at Norfolk South, I want you to unload oil and pick up fuel. Did I get that right? Right, yep. Load oil up there, unload the fuel that you got from here, break the oil, and then the opposite. I kind of wish they would put that in a little bit different place so I could flick back and forth, but that looks good. And then once again, we're going to have them wait, especially to start out. We'll balance things out as time goes on. But there we go. So there's 2 lines to get the fuel on trains back and forth. And we don't have a train depot, do we? That's a bit of an issue, but we can get rid of that. So now let's keep going with the lines down here. So we're going to need 2 more lines. And this first line we're going to call Norfolk Crude. Though I did just kind of name that. Yeah, I don't know whether we want it one way or the other, so I'll just leave it like this. And Norfolk Crude, let's make the crude this dark color, because why not? And then this is going to be maybe I put the name of truck lines, the name of the city first, because it's going to be more local, and then the other ones will make specific, I don't know, fuel, Dell. All right, so this one will be how we get fuel in there. Let's make it pink. I don't know why. So there we go. So that should be, so if we add a station, all right, we're going to come from here to here. And this will be, when we're at Norfolk West here, we're going to get fuel. And then when we go into there, we're going to do nothing. We're just going to drop the fuel off and come back with nothing. And then I will, since you're coming back with nothing, you don't need to wait. And for now, you know what, I'm going to leave this on 3 minutes because it's going to be a little while for that guy to get going. So now let's go to Norfolk Fuel. All right, so you're going to go from there to here. And I'm a little worried about this station getting overloaded with something, so we got to be real careful. And when you're at the Norfolk transfer over there, you're going to get crude oil. And I don't think you need to wait anywhere. I think you can just go back and forth. And then this, you're just not going to do anything. You're going to head back over to Norfolk West, right? I mean, you're going to head from Norfolk West empty, and that should get those 2 going. All right, let's keep a move on. So now we need to get crude oil from here to here, so we need 2 more lines. So let's get 2 more lines. Oh, no. We don't need 2 lines over here, do we? So this one would be Rochester. I forget the name of the city, yeah. Pretty sure, yeah, Rochester. So we're going to do Rochester Crude. And then why don't we make that the same color, which was this one, right? Oh, I don't know what I did there. Rochester Crude. And click on station. So we want you to go from here to, oh. Yeah, no, okay. Sorry. Here. Yeah, that's good. That's I'm glad that's closer. I had a flash for a second. All right, and then when you're at the Rochester Exchange over there, I want you to get all the crude oil you can carry and come back here. Oh, you know what I didn't do over there? I think I messed up, didn't I? Yeah, you don't want to load anything, but you want to unload here. Let me make sure I didn't mess up over there. Well, we can click right here. We don't have to go anywhere. All right, load. Oh, see, look, almost made a mistake. Unload. Good. Let's just check this fuel delivery. Load. Unload. Yeah, that will make a big difference. All right, so there we go. So now, did we put... I know these train depots cost us money, but there certainly could be an argument towards putting one on each end. Though, to be honest, I'm not sure. I think definitely the road depots we need. We'll put one over here somewhere that's convenient for this. All right, because I don't see us doing the trucks across the entire map. So we're going to need two of these guys. Yeah, I guess that's a fine place for it. I don't think that'll be in the way of anybody in the future. And then we'll come down here, try to put one right in the heart of things, right? Why not? I don't want to get too close to that other guy. All right, there we go. So we can... I don't want to be too close to those railroad tracks either, because in case we want to... Well, we could always expand the tracks out that way. This will be fine. We're not too close. And if we made a mistake, then, live with it. My life is that way, not just my life. All right, so over here, let's go ahead right off the bat and buy 2 vehicles. All right, we're going to be buying vehicles for a while. Oh, no. Let's set one to each of these. We need to get some idea. Yeah, Norfolk crude for you, and Norfolk fuel delivery for you. And then we'll come down across. Oh, we don't even have to go anywhere, right? Yeah, is there a way to go zoom in on that? No. But anyway, so now from the Rochester one, we're going to buy another horse-drawn carriage. And we're going to set that to Rochester crude. And then before we even start anything up, let's just take a look at our lines. And now we need to get a train depot, huh? So we need to balance out these lines so that we don't overload this station. Like, we may find ourselves needing to expand this to try to, balance it out. I don't know exactly how these depots work 110%, but we're gonna learn. And then the other ones should all be fine. So let's see, what do we want to do with the train? Yeah, we could put it like in the middle, and then it would be like bad for both of them. Yeah, why don't we just put it in the middle in a relatively flat area, and then it'll just be bad for both. But it'll be even, I guess. I don't know if there's a better or worse thing to do. I'm not sure that it makes that much difference in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, let's get it to where I don't think... Yeah, see, there's a bit of a hill here. I'd rather... This will probably be a... No, you're kind of way uphill there, aren't you? Let's go... I guess that's all right. Maybe we'll... I think I'm making too much of a big deal out of it, right? Let's just try... Like right there. Whatever. All right, so you want to be able to go this way from this direction. And you're going to want to be able to go out. Now, the other thing, we probably do want to... Right now, if we one-wayify things, which we have, we really do kind of want to be able to get back off of there, don't we? And it's not like we don't already... really... Okay, there you go. Scared me. I didn't think I was going to be able to get back in. This one may be even more of a problem. Oh, no. Good. All right, good. So that way we can send trains back in there. It might cost us a little bit extra. Yeah, I think we got enough signaling. All right, so now, yeah, well, the good thing about starting this guy, I don't know if it's in the middle or not, but we're going to need to borrow more money, aren't we? Let's see how much this costs exactly. So we want to have one of these. Now, the question is, and by the way, this is what I was talking about in the very beginning. If we look at this, none of these, the only one, like the raw materials here, you can't get any finished materials, right? So maybe you could do logs and lumber, but no town just takes, or planks, whatever they call it, no town just takes the planks. No town just, see what I'm saying? Like you can't haul the raw material on the same exact train in any of these cases. It's only this oil that lets you haul everything with just these tanker cars. So I'm thinking we put 4 of these on here, and that's going to, it's a shame. We're going to have to borrow, yeah, well, let's, you know what, that's not a shame. Well, we're going to have to borrow 3 of these at least. 1, 2, because that's not going to be enough for 2 of them. We're going to have that extra shot in the arm there. All right, so let's go back to here. Good, it saved it. All right, so we're going to buy 2 of these trains. And then we might as well just get them started right away. So we'll select this one to go to Norfolk. We'll select this one to go to Rochester. So let's go look at our lines real quick and get some idea. So at this point, and again, I want to real quickly try to get another 2 trains going, right? And so what that means is if this is at all accurate, 25 minutes, let me think this through. So if this is going to take 25 minutes round trip, you know what? I'm going to pause the video and think this through because we're kind of running out of time. I'm not going to do anything, but let me do some mathematics off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I have it figured out. We will see what happens here, but let's come down to our train lines again. Oop, this line's. And here's what we need to do. We need twice as much crude oil as we do oil to fill up this train, right? So in 25 minutes, we need 56 crude oil in order to make 28 of the regular oil, right? So we need 56 every 25 minutes. So that means if we have 4 of these, you know, each truckload is going to be 4. That means we need to have the frequency of the crude oil at 2 minutes. Now this one's 27 minutes, so it's a little bit longer, you know, of a trip, not much. So it's going to be in the same ballpark. So I want to buy enough trucks to get started before we even start up time or horse-drawn carriages to get this down to like 2 minutes, right? So that we have, that should put us in the right ballpark to get it in there. We might even go like a little less than 2 minutes, but I don't want to jam this up too much, and we can always buy another one in the future. So let's go ahead and see what it would take to do that. So let's do the line statistics and kind of pin that up top. We should probably play time a bit, right? Just to, yeah, I think I'm going to play it to get that truck out of there, but then we're going to come right in here, buy a horse-drawn carriage. Let's buy like 3 of them, and then we're just going to let one go at a time. Now, unfortunately, we still can't see that. 4 minutes, right? Norfolk crude, not quite down to 2 minutes. There we go. So that should be enough for Norfolk crude. Now let's pause it. And we're going to assume this is a little bit longer trip. We started out 7 minutes. So let's see how, oops, just too many escapes. Let's head down the other end while we're still paused. I don't want to run out of money because we're going to be in a little bit of trouble if we do. Well, we can borrow money, but I'd rather keep, if we can, like, I don't want to take out extra loans if we can avoid it. So we're going to assume 4 more vehicles here. All right. I guess we just might as well set, I could have just, let's set them on Rochester crude. Now, let's take a look at our lines. Yep, right at about 2 minutes. So we'll see how this works out. It should be okay. And I wanted to get them started like ASAP. Hopefully they can get there and back. And, you know, I don't want to buy too many until we go to ramp it up, see how it's working, see how we're doing with making money. So the fuel delivery, we just want to hold off. Well, we need to get that ramped up to be even with the amount of fuel we're coming back up. But there we go. I think we're ready to, yeah, I think we're ready to get this party started, as the song goes. Right? At least, I mean, I don't know how much money we'll make, but at the same time, now the other thing, yeah, so we have fuel here, we want, or barrels of oil, and we have barrels of oil here. So that means we at least set up those correctly. And our train should be pulling out, right? Yep, there goes that guy that way. Oh, they're both going the same way. Well, that's a bit of a shame, but that's why we put the extra signaling on, so they can kind of both independently do whatever they want. And if they get close to each other, like this guy's going to sit here and wait for a second, but that's okay, right? We should have fairly evenly spaced out signaling. I hope that it should be relatively efficient, and hopefully they just, you know, I don't plan on having that much traffic, but yeah, so we'll see. So these guys, yeah, I think we just need to let it roll for a minute, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's just see, as we let this roll, does this change that much? You know, take a mental snapshot. You guys can always go back and look. I just want to sort of make sure this doesn't change too drastically. Like this one may change if he starts getting held up, because I think as they start running their route, it sort of starts, I'm thinking the reason this number changes is because it starts using more like the actual time that a train made its stops, and does a little better job of estimating things, or at least that's the assumption. So yeah, well, let me just let time play. If anything dramatic happens, I will come back. But we're getting a little bit long in the tooth for the episode, and I would at least like to see some, maybe get to the point we have fuel flowing. But again, I don't want to cut you guys out of the learning experience too much either. Just try to balance out, you know, the time it takes to do this stuff. And like I said, as soon as we get like the one train kind of going, I'll come back at least by the time we're ready to buy another train. Hopefully by then we won't be broke, and we may just get it going a little bit sooner, like buy some more oil trucks. Sort of depends on where the money goes. So let me pause it, and I'll be right back in a second. Okay, I did a few things, and then I've just paused it again. This guy started heading up the wrong track. And the way I figured that out is I had sent this guy back to the depot, and then he said, well, I'm waiting for, oops, yeah, I can't click on him, but it said waiting for a free track. I'm like, why are you waiting? We got all these signals. So we're just sort of wasting time and money, right? But it's too critical. But if we come over here and hit manage line, I never put the other station, which is this one, right? Which lets them, because otherwise they can't get, the only way back onto this track was to disobey all the other one-way signals. So now this should get them on the right track. And the other thing that we should be thinking about here is, yeah, so when it comes to this, yeah, we need to think about what we're doing here. Let's just make sure we get it right, right? So you're going to come to here and have fuel. Or do we have this? No. You're not going to there. That's for the other trade. So you're going to come to Rochester Central, and the only thing you're going to do is unload fuel. Then you're going to come to Rochester West, and you're going to load up oil. And then when you get to this one, you're going to you're going to load up the fuel that you got from down there while you unload your oil. So now what that means is, I'm not sure the best way to get there, but well, I guess we could do the line manager and then click on this guy. And I think we need to reverse him again. Let's hit play. And then that should, if we come over to this guy, yep, he's coming out now. So that's, and just so you know, I kind of, well, I didn't anticipate that, but when he gets down to here, I'm going to turn him around again and send him back up, right? And then he should get on the right track. Like if we look at, oops, that's the wrong line. Let's look at this line, right? Yeah, see, so now he should come down here. As soon as he gets to here, I'll turn him around, and that'll just save him coming all the way into here for no reason. You know, I don't know. We probably could have just let the train sit there and wait, but I'm kind of anxious. And then the other thing that I did, just because I am kind of anxious to get the fuel flowing better, is I doubled the number of vehicles. So I borrowed another 500,000, and I doubled the number of vehicles on both of our crude lines. And then I also bought a few of these vehicles, which I'll put on the fuel delivery to Norfolk when we get to that point. So, but I wanted to come back and show you my mistake, just in case you guys had caught it. So you know, maybe you already left a comment, but at the same time, yeah, I just wanted to do that. So let me pause it again, and hopefully this time we'll get to that point I was talking about where we're at least delivering our first drops of fuel. So this just delayed us a little bit. But we'll see. So hopefully we become really profitable, or at least marginally profitable before this ends. So I'll see you guys in a few. I have paused time for a minute because I want to do one last thing before we end the episode, and then I will leave you guys in the ultimate suspense. I want to borrow enough money that we can buy 2 more trains. Ouch, 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 ouch. I just noticed that we barely will have enough, but at least we're going to get a cargo in. We got a little bit. I'll get into it in a minute, but let's go ahead and just see if we can't get the 2 trains. Same exact thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. I got a little bit luckier. I didn't realize it was going to be quite that close. I knew it was going to be close, but I didn't think it was going to be quite that close. But we now have 2 trains, right? And what I was looking at, one of the reasons I was zoomed out, here, let's get rid of that for a second. See, this train's right here. I don't know if you guys can see, but he's more or less in the middle, right? Maybe he's a little bit closer to this end. So what I want to do is this train, by the way, is the oil fuel Norfolk. So let me set this train to head out to oil fuel Norfolk. Right? And then what I'm going to do is this other train is all the way down this end. But what I'm thinking of is I may wait a little while. Hopefully we'll get some money in the meantime. But if I send this guy out now, I don't think they're going to be opposite. If I send the other guy out to go on the other Rochester fuel route, right? Like, in other words, I kind of needed to send him out a little bit sooner, but I didn't think about it. Like, if that guy was like right in the middle, I should have sent this other guy over to here. So that's why I tried to zoom out and estimate the middle. So what I need to do is actually wait for this guy, I think, to get over there. Now, I don't know which way this guy's going to head. But if I just wait for this other train to get in the middle, yeah, I can't really flip that other guy around. Like, if he follows him, well, I guess I can send him back to the depot if he follows him. But you guys are just going to have to wait until the next episode to see how that works out, because we're pretty much out of time. And I'm going to record these episodes back to back. So if I don't get your suggestions, I'll get them before you see the next episode, but I won't be able to react to them in the episode. It's always confusing, that future thing. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know if you do have comments or suggestions. I definitely appreciate them. You guys have taught me a lot in the first season. So hopefully you'll tune in for episode 2 and we'll see the suspense. Did we really make money, or did we just max out our loan for absolutely no reason and we're just going to crash and burn. Well, I hope not. All right. Good luck. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.